probably about 15 years ago. Never really got a chance to spend much time with her, though, until about 13 years ago, and met her over at Waylon Jennings' house one day for a birthday party for Waylon Jennings. Farron Young and Tony Joe White and a bunch of other people were there, and sat and sang with her and talked with her for a while and found out some interesting things. First of all, for all of us inside the industry that tend to push the envelope a little bit, she is definitely one of us. Ladies and gentlemen, Brenda Lee.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Hank Jr. Thank you, Merle, because Judy called me a few days ago, and it's just like him. She said, Merle wants you there. He's requested it, so I'm here. I met Merle when I was just a little bitty girl. I met Hank Jr. when I was about 14, and we go back a long, long way. If there's a special blessing in getting to grow up and spend one's entire life in the midst of the music industry as I have, it's days like this when we come together as a family in the hallowed ground of the old Ryman to honor Merle Kilgore. Merle brought laughter to every room he entered, we all know that, and he was a friend to all within the reach of my voice. He challenged all of us to remember, and this is so important, he challenged us in the industry to remember the dream that brought us into this industry that he so passionately loved. He was more than a big man with a big heart. He was a huge man with a big, big, big heart. If riches can be counted in the legacy of the lives you've touched, and hearts that will never forget you, look around this room today, and it tells me Merle Kilgore indeed did just fine. I love the story I once heard of the sailing ship, leaving port as those on the shore waved goodbye. Proud and tall, it soon disappeared on the horizon, lost from view of those on the shore. Gone? No, just out of sight. Somewhere else far away, people on a distant shore stood welcoming the proud ship to a new shore. I have a feeling that Merle has found that new shore and a new audience applauding and waving him welcome. Gone? Never. Only out of sight and never to be forgotten. I love you, Merle.
I met these two young ladies just earlier today, and they're going to do one of Merle's favorite songs of all time. To perform Amazing Grace, here's his granddaughters, Sarah and Leah.
Well, you've done it this time, brother. I went to the office today. And found that you weren't there. But the more that I searched, I realized that you were everywhere. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, millennium too. There were so many pictures, so many memories. Together, me and you. You carried Dad's guitar in Shreveport. You were my link to him. Like a brother, like a father, and always, always, no matter what, my friend. I had a dream so beautiful and serene. Do not grieve, for from heaven he's called. Brother, you won't believe, I have made the biggest, sweetest deal of all.
That's why you are Bocephus.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Merle Kilgore.
Now, let me tell you about Farron. Now, I want to tell you. My mother taught Farron in high school in Shreveport, Louisiana. And Farron was so rowdy that Mama heard him singing going down the hallway. And she stopped and said, you know, you have a beautiful voice. I love your voice. Why don't you do something with it? And he said, oh, I am. I'm singing every day. And he said, well, if you would put out that cigar, and he was smoking a cigar down the hallway of high school, put out that cigar, I want to talk to you. And Mother was a substitute teacher. She said, look, these kids are driving me crazy, and I know you've got some promise. Have you ever been to Louisiana Hayride? He said, no. She said, how would you like to go backstage to the hayride? Yeah, how can you get me backstage? Well, my son knows everybody. He carries Hank Williams' guitar, and he knows everybody, and he will take you backstage. You've got to calm the class down. And so when that bell rang for the class, Farron jumped up, and he said, I'm going to kill anybody that talks while Mrs. Kilgore's talking. I mean it. I'm going to take you out and kill you. And he controlled the class. And so I'm the guy that walked Farron backstage on the Louisiana Hayride. Years later, I'm up in Nashville, and I'm gone through a divorce, and Farron calls me and says, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm definitely going through the divorce. And he didn't try to talk me out of it. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, I think I'll buy me a condo. He said, no, save your money. I bought this mansion out on Harbor Island. Bill Anderson lives out there, and I want to rent you the bottom half of the house, and I'm gone all the time, and Hank Jr. had just fell off the mountain, and I didn't have a job, so George Jones said, I want you to be the singing host of the Possum Holler. And he said, singing maitre d'. I said, maitre d'? He said, okay, what's another word? I said, host. He said, yeah, I like it better. So Farron said, you come and you live with me. We'll live together. Just the two of us. We'll have fun. I said, great. And I hadn't had a drink in 21 years, so back then. But those days, I would have a drink or two. And Farron was he was a great cook, though. I mean, he could cook my favorite, shake and bake pork chops, Crowder peas with onions, sweet potatoes. He knew how to cook, man, just like we were the original Odd Couple. He called me at the Hall of Fame bar, Motor Inn bar, and he said, hey, brother, are you coming home early? Yes, Sheriff, I'll be home probably as soon as the traffic dies down, about 6:30. He said, don't lie to me now. I got your favorite, shake and bake pork chops. I got some candied yams that are delicious. I got Crowder peas, and I got the onions I'm chopping up in, the little tiny onions. You'll like that. And I got you some fresh sliced tomatoes. I said, great. Now, what time will you be home? I said, 6:30 to 6:45. He said, okay. And about midnight, I got it. The waitress said, Merle, you got a phone call. And this boy said, listen, you think I slave over this hot stove, cooking you shake and bake, sweet potatoes, Crowder peas? He said, don't even think about coming home on an empty stomach. You better stop at the Waffle House, because Byron Binkley's dog Fluffo is getting your meal. Good night. Don't even think about it. And I got to tell you one more, Bill, because you probably had this. This is a quickie. I'm downstairs, just got out of the pool. We had an indoor swimming pool. Oh, it was a beautiful place. And I'm laying down, just got out of the pool, and he came down and said, Merle, a couple of gnat blowers up there to see you. I said, gnat blowers? I said, oh, okay. Thought it was a figure of speech. I went upstairs, and there was two guys, and they had little gnats, just like in a cartoon, little gnats all over their faces. And they said, hey, Merle, you and Farron need a little yard work? I said, no, we do our own, thank you. Couple of gnat blowers. Couple of gnat blowers.
Yeah. Roger Wayne Sovine, where are you? Ladies and gentlemen, Red Sovine's little old boy Roger. How about, come here, Roger. Out of retirement.
I have to ask that you all bear with me. I haven't addressed anything other than a school of speckled trout in about 5 years, so I'd like to take a minute to talk about Merle Kilgore and the Country Music Association. Merle loved the CMA, and he was especially proud of being a member of its board of directors. And the CMA loved Merle. His knowledge of country music and his ability to use humor in addressing critical and sensitive issues somehow managed to soften our tough decisions. When Merle was recognized by the chair and said, "Mr. Chairman," everyone knew to pay attention. Something worthwhile was about to be said. And why did everyone want to hear what Merle had to say? Number one, he really did carry Hank Williams' guitar up the steps of KWKH Radio and the Municipal Auditorium at Louisiana Hayride. I was there. He really did write the song More and More for Webb Pierce and witnessed his rise to stardom. He really did spend quality time at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. He really did know the location of the boar's nest. He really did write the country classic Wolverton Mountain, and that really was his uncle, Clifton Flowers. He really was the Boogie King. And he really did write Ring of Fire with June Carter Cash, and his impersonation of Johnny Cash was better than Johnny Cash doing it himself. And he really did help Miss Audrey with the recording to the answer to Almost Persuaded. He really did know when Al Gallico was in town and when he left. He really was one of the founders of the infamous Professional Club on 16th Avenue. He really was Farron Young's roommate. And he really did manage the unmanageable Hank Williams Jr. And now, as far as the 4 lifetime board members of the CMA, he was bigger than Joe Talbot. He had more hair than Bill Denny. He was funnier than Ralph Peer, and he dressed as elegantly as Francis Preston. Now, he will truly be missed by the CMA because he really cared so much about the country music industry. And now, inasmuch as I don't have a dog in this fight anymore and don't have to be political or kiss people like I used to, I would like to suggest to the Country Music Association that they consider making Merle Kilgore a lifetime member of the board of directors of the Country Music Association.
And put him in the Hall of Fame.
And while we're at it, let's just go on and put him in the Hall of Fame. I think Merle would really, really, really like that. And, you know, if he has any problems with his accommodations in heaven, I don't think he'll be bothered or upset. He'll just say, oh, well, Billy Deaton must have booked this one. God bless you, brother. I love you.
All right, go with me. Lester and Earl, Abbott and Costello.
Big and rich.
That's right.
There you go.
Come on, hot boys.
Brothers and sisters, it's really great to see you all here today. And, well, everything I've heard and seen and known makes us even more proud to be part of this business. Man, the passion that I just saw in that man's face, man, just lights me up. Satin locks like golden wings before a sky of tangerine, a technicolor living dream takes me away, I'm blown away. And in the garden of the poses underneath the velvet roses, the only thing I need the most is waiting here for me, waiting for me. And I'm so overcome by the beauty of this place inside my heart, sometimes it's more than I can take. So I hold out my arms and fall down on my knees. Thank God I'm alive, 'cause sometimes I forget to breathe. Underneath the stars romancing, all around the wind is dancing, overtaking and reminding me how precious this is, how precious. And everywhere the sun there warms me, the giving waters pour around me, innocent and so politely, giving me this life, giving me love. And I'm so overcome by the beauty of this place inside my heart. Sometimes it's more than I can take. So I hold out my arms, fall down on my knees, and thank God I'm alive, because sometimes I forget to breathe. Sometimes when I sleep, I can see you walking back to me. And sometimes I wake up, 'cause I swear I felt your touch. Then emotions overcome me, and the darkness is so cold. I light a candle, watch it burn. I feel the angels come and fill this room. Oh, when you're gone, I miss you so much. I do the only thing I can do. I pray for you. I pray for you. La 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 la. La 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 la. Every minute of the day, I can clearly see your face. And every minute we're apart, oh, you know it just breaks my heart. I'm so lonely, but I'm okay, 'cause I know we'll be together again. Oh, I light a candle, watch it burn. I feel the angels come and fill this room. Oh, when you're gone, I miss you so much. I do the only thing I can do. I pray for you. I pray for you. Oh, I pray for you. La, 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 please hold him and protect him till he's back here in our arms again. Oh, and tell him how we love him, and we'll be waiting right here forever. Amen. La, la, la. La, 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 la,
Miss you, Merle.
The next gentleman we want to introduce is a guy that has been the voice for so many of us in the industry, especially in this town, for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl P. Mayfield.
Mr. Carl P. Mason.